Today I'm going to show you how to use this pump system to feed Luka with his NG tube. First you'll need some warm milk, a syringe that's filled with 3 ml of water, a burp rag, this pump, and as you can hear, a hungry Luka. First thing you're going to do, turn the pump on with the power button. You'll have the option to either keep or clear settings. Press the keep button. Now we will take the warm milk, put it in the bag. Pour slowly so it doesn't spill if the bag is wrinkled. You do not need to recap this if you are sure it won't spill. Otherwise, to be safe, you can recap the bag. Now you will prime the pump and use the auto prime function. This will take the milk and air that's in the tube and clear it. It's critical to do this before you hook it up to Luka. This takes about 30 seconds. You can see the milk going into the tube. This piece of clear plastic here is called the cassette. And you can see it coming into the tube. Some water from the previous fill and rinse is coming out of the tube. That's fine, that's what the burp rag is for. And a little bit will spill out extra, that's fine. Now we can say done. It'll give us the details of what the feeding will be. When we are ready, we'll press start. Now that we've primed the pump and it's filled with milk and not air, we can connect it to Luka. This is the tube that's connected to him. It has a cap, you'll remove this. Kink the tube so that way no water that's in here spills out on you. Take this end from the primed pump and this end of Luka. Twist them into place. Just finger tight, does not need to be too tight. If it is too tight and this were to get stuck, we would need to go to the ER to get this removed and get a fresh tube. So only tighten it just enough to keep it on. Now that the pump has been primed, it has been connected to Luka, we can press start on the pump. Now that we're connected, we can go ahead and press start. You'll see this will tell you how long the pump will take, the rate at which it is pumping out, and how many milliliters of milk are left in the feed. Now while the pump is running for about 30 minutes, we like to use a pacifier with Luka and good cheek support with him to work on his sucking skills so that way he continues to keep up the muscles of practicing sucking while he is getting fed, so he keeps that association. You hear that beeping, you can see there is a little bit of extra milk in the bag that did not get fed into Luka. That is perfect, that is how we want it, so that way it doesn't cause any feeding errors with the pump. Now that it's complete, we can press done. And now we will wait to continue with the pump. First we will get Luka disconnected. Now that the pump is done running, we are going to disconnect the tube that connects Luka and the pump. So we've got this here. Kink the tube connected to Luka so it doesn't spill any out on you. I keep the burp rag handy so in case any does spill, it just spills onto the bag. Screw this. Just set the tube connected to the pump off to the side. We'll clean the pump next. This is where we'll need the syringe filled with 3 ml of water to flush the tube with milk connected to Luka. Take the cap off. This will twist on or pop on. Again, just tight enough to hold it together, not too tight. And press the syringe slowly so it doesn't overwhelm Luka. This will take a couple seconds here. You'll see that the water goes into the tube and flushes the milk. That's done. We can disconnect the syringe. Again, keeping this tube kinked. Put the cap back on. And now we're done with Luka for using the pumping system. Now it's time to clean up the pump after feeding Luka. So what we're going to do first is we are going to disconnect this clear plastic set from the pump. So there is a lever here. This unclicks, pull it out, and it will pull off from the bottom. Take this in the bag. They are all connected over to the sink to fill with water. Now that you're at the sink, again, open up the bag, take the cap off. Fill with water. Do not use soap, just water. Now swish the water around in the bag. This is just to try to rinse out as much milk as we can get out of the bag. The bag gets reused for up to 24 hours worth of feeds. Dump out the water, and if you see that there is some still residual milk, you can see little bits of white up here. Just do a second rinse. Dump out that extra milk and water. Fill it up again once more. Just a small amount. It has to only be about that much, not even. We're going to take this back to the pump and prime our pump again to empty out all of the milk that's in the tubes. We're back at the pump. It's telling you to load the set, so go from the bottom, just like the diagram shows, clip it into the top. So start down, and you'll hear the click. Now the machine recognizes that set is loaded. You're going to, again, prime the pump. And now it will only give you an option to manually prime the pump. You'll manually prime the pump with the tube that was connected to Luka into a bottle. This will clear out all of the milk. This, again, will take about a minute. I've got the tube coming out of the bag into a bottle just to drain the excess. I'm going to press manual prime, and now you need to press and hold prime feed while it empties out the water that you have pre-filled in here. This is just the rinsing water to rinse out the tube. Again, this will take about a minute. The pump bag is getting empty now of all of the water that you had put in. It is finishing up running through the cassette and the rest of the tubing. And you only need to manually pump until you can see that line of water. Once the main bulk of the water is emptied out through the tube and into your spare bottle, then you can be done with manually priming. Now that it is done dripping, you can be done. Say done on the pump. And now it's time to press and hold to turn the pump off. You can discard this extra milk and water mixture into the sink. This tubing has a cap that is on the side of the pump here. When you're done, just slide it in and it will hold it for your next feeding. It'll lock into place, and now you're done. Now to recap everything we've done: warm the milk, turn the pump on, fill the bag with milk, use the auto prime function to fill the tubes with the milk from the bag, then connect Luka, press start on the feed, wait the 30 minutes to feed Luka, disconnect Luka, flush him with 3 ml of water, recap his tube, rinse out the milk bag from the pump, reconnect it, and then prime the pump to fill all of the tubes with the clean water to rinse out all of the milk that is left over from the previous feed. Recap the tube, and you're done.